Ganon. Char. O, diba? Ito, idulit, anak. O, Hoy! O, dulit, kay kuha ni Ron. Sige na lang, idulit, chika to. Ganon. Charot. Okay, nakadulit ko daanin. Pwede ulit kayo eh. Sige na, anak. Okay, guys. I'm coming back. Hello, guys. Charlie. Okay. Still, this is a continuation of the, the carbohydrates, sugar, but these are disaccharide sugar. Okay. Monosaccharide plus monosaccharide is equals to disaccharide sugar. So saccharides family are under carbohydrates. Okay. Then monosaccharides are the building blocks of carbohydrates. Okay. Now in here we have a sucrose, lactose, maltose. These are all disaccharides, right? Then we need to add an enzyme to catalyze the reactions to produce sugars, right? Because these are disugars composed of simple sugars. Okay, for example, sucrose composed of like this, fructose. Okay, oy. Nasa muagi, di muagi oy. Padali ko di muagi oy. Okay, sucrose, fructose plus glucose. Okay. Then lactose composed of glucose plus galactose. Okay, like that. You got the point mga palangga akong hitad. And then maltose will be glucose plus another glucose. Of the three, which is most interesting to look at with? It is sucrose, lactose, or maltose. I found enjoyable to take a look on maltose, right? Because there are a lot of glucoses. Then glucose is the main cause of diabetes and obesity, and can cause of type 2 diabetes mellitus or any related to high blood pressure, like that. You get the point, mga palangga akong hitad. So in this disaccharides, maltose, it looks like, bad. Right? If you compare sucrose, lactose, and maltose, by just looking on the equations. Okay? See, maltose, glucose plus glucose, and the more you have glucose in your body, then your bloodstream suffers the blood sugar. You get the point? Right? Because in the lactose, there is only one glucose. In the sucrose, there is only one glucose also to be added. But take note also, fructose also will become danger in combination with glucose, because sucrose is highly refined and processed. But take a look as it is naturally, not the processed. Forget about if it is processed or refined or not. So if you try to look at this only naturally, so the dangerous is the maltose, right? Okay, without taking into account the processes yet. Okay? At that point, because glucose dun siya dayon. Okay? Now, before sucrose will produce fructose and glucose, we need to add an enzyme. Our enzyme here will be sucrase. Okay. Naturally, sucrase is an enzyme that will catalyze the reaction of sucrose to produce fructose and glucose. So without sucrase, this will not form fructose and glucose. Okay, sucrose will not be converted to fructose and glucose. Now, what enzyme added to lactose to convert that into glucose and the lactose? So we have also lactase. Okay, now what enzyme needed to convert or to catalyze the reaction of maltose into glucose and glucose? It is maltase. What you observe is patterning of the enzyme. You don't have to memorize, it's patterning in terms of carbohydrates. See, sucrose from the word itself, then sucrase. Okay, you can add only ASE because I told you a million times, ASE is an identification that your substance is an enzyme. ASE. OSE is an identification that your substance is a sugar or carbohydrate. So OSE. So no need to refer to the book as long as you know already the identification. Okay, for just simply naming. Okay, now lactose, obviously lactase. Okay, maltose, obviously maltase. So no need to make it complicated, right? Things like that. Okay, you got the point. Now, we need to draw the Haworth projection of sucrose, lactose, and maltose. We don't have a choice. We need to get the Haworth of fructose, and the Haworth of glucose, and the Haworth of the galactose projection. Now, we cannot use Fisher's structural formula of sucrose. It's very difficult. You can never do that. Haworth is more convenient and comfortable. Okay, chemists and scientists are using Haworth for disaccharides sugars. Okay, but for monosaccharides and simple sugars, you can use also the Fisher. It's very easy, rather than the Haworth. But for sucrose, lactose, and maltose, it's the reverse. The more you use the Haworth projection, the more it is a little bit not complicated. Okay, now, so sucrose. So we have fructose and glucose. What is the Haworth of fructose? Andiyan na naman tayo. Okay, fructose like this. Tadadat, 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 tadadat. Right? So, what can you say? A pentagon. Right? Then, sucrose is really fructose and glucose. I consider fructose first. Let's see, F to save the ink. Okay, like that. So, fructose 6 carbon atoms. So, in your Fisher, there are 2 CH2OH there. Then, obviously, you can also put 2 CH2OH there in this pentagon. That's your first identification. Now, second identification, the putting of OH and H is the reverse of your glucose. Okay, now, so, we treat this, oxygen will be on the top here, always. Okay, for the fructose. And then carbon number 1, carbon number 2, carbon number 3, carbon number 4. You say that the hydroxide in glucose is inside the polygon. Now, in fructose, it's outside. Okay, so that it's easy for you to write the structural formula if you have identification or technique. So in here, okay, OH and H. Now, in glucose also, all the OH are outside the polygon or the pentagon or hexagon. Now, you will put that, okay, inside OH here. Okay, like that. Okay. Now, where are the CH2H2? It's either here or here, right? It's gonna be like that. Now, so in your glucose also, in carbon number 4, the OH is downside, right? Then, you will put the OH upside. Okay? Like that. Get the point? Ganon. Like that. And then, you'll put H here supposedly. Things like that. Okay? OH and H. Now, if you put OH at the top of the carbon number 4, so where is the CH2OH to put? So, you will never put OH. Instead, you will put CH2OH. Okay. Because concept will prevail rather than the mechanism and pattern. You get the point? Now here, we need to put another CH2OH because the requirement is 2 CH2OH in fructose. You have no choice. Now, going back to glucose. The OH is downward, right? So what I have here, OH. Then, okay, then H here, like that. Okay, but in carbon number 1, the fructose will never change the OH and H. Okay, if we base that one, H and OH. Now, where is your CH2OH? Nothing. You have still to put CH2H. Where you put? Here in H or here in OH? You have to put here in H because OH is very, very important in naming. Okay? In naming the Howard projection. This is the thing. You cannot name as alpha and beta without the presence of OH. Gets? So, mapubus nagbutang sa CH2OH sa, in place of hydrogen. So, our basis is the glucose for fructose Haworth. Like that. Okay, you got the point? Ano na siya, no? Oh. Now, OH is here, right? It's in carbon number 1. So, this is alpha D fructoforanose. Charot. Foranose and then plus, because glucose is here to become our sucrose. What is the Haworth of glucose? So, like this also. Ta-da-da, 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 like this. Carbon number 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5 here. Okay. But take note ha, before you go to the glucose, count first the carbon atoms of fructose just to check that you have a correct Haworth projection. The carbon atoms fructoforanose. Okay. Fructose 6 na ng carbon. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Hydrogen. 12. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. Oxygen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. C6, H12, O6. Okay, for the fructose itself. Okay, now, plus glucose. Okay, our Haworth projection of glucose is gonna be like this. So you know that glucose is aldose sugar, then there is only one CH2OH to put here. It's not 2. That's your first identification. Now, all your OH in the glucose will be outside from the polygon, but except for carbon number 3, because in the glucose Fischer projection, the OH is in the left. And if it is in the left, in your Haworth projection, it will be inside the polygon. So it will become here OH and H, and the rest of the OH will go outside. OH, OH, okay, and OH here. Okay. Now, the pair of OH is the H. Put the H automatically. Okay. Now, there are two OH in the carbon number 1 and carbon number 4. Then there is one CH2OH. Where to put? In carbon number 1 or carbon number 4? And this is your story. Where to put? Okay, because there are two CH2H man. There one CH2H baya in the glucose. So you have to put your oxygen here. Ano siya daan? Oxygen. Where to put the CH2H? In the carbon number 4, at tulo ang choices. Carbon number 4, carbon number 1, and carbon number 5. Okay? Like that. So, saraman na siya. So, ari na siya sa carbon number 5. CH2OH. Because this carbon number 5 will be the last, the same as your Fischer at the bottom. That's why you put that also in the carbon number 5. Because giangkon na ng oxygen ang carbon number 6 sa Haworth. Okay? You got the point. Ganon. Okay, so therefore we conclude that the hydrogen is the pair of OH here in the carbon number 4, and also in carbon number 1, the pair of OH is in carbon number 1, like that. Okay, so students, okay, class, you understand already what I'm trying to emphasize? Okay, okay.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
Sorry. For the audio is not good because
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
I on the AC and the video quality of my, my uploaded video will be bad. That's why I always off the AC. That's the reason. Oh, I forgot. Sorry. Okay, so it's off now, the AC, and I use also microphone to intensify the sound. Okay, we have the glucose here. Okay, now that's very clear, right? Okay, so how can we say this? Okay, so your OH is in the carbon number 1. The theory speaks that if you put OH in carbon number 1, that is automatically your alpha. So alpha dash. And then, what is in terms of D and L? So this is D because all your OH are outside the polygon. So D. Okay. And this is glucose. So you will say glucopyranose. Okay. Because pyranose is for aldose sugar. And glucose belongs to aldose sugar. Okay. So alpha D glucopyranose, or we can say it as, to make it simpler, alpha D glucose. It's okay. And now this is also C6H12O6. Take note. The same, fructose C6H12O6 and also glucose C6H12O6. So meaning to say, they are isomers with each other, but different in their structural formula orientation, like that. Okay, now if you go back to the glucose, check also if there are 6 atoms of carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, 5, 6. And you have now 6 carbon atoms. Okay, you got the point? Okay, so just like here, 6 also. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Sa fructose. You got the point, mga palangga kong hitan. Okay, here also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ganon. Okay, ganon mga palangga kong hitan. Okay, you got the point, mga palangga kong hitan. So it's gonna be like that. Okay, usara man ang H2H sa glucose. You got the point? Ana siya. No. So, inyo na nasabtan ha, na mauna siya ang atong may tabo ni na. Ano pa na siya yung H diri-ari, kay pares na sa H2. Okay, ipunin mo yung H. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So, it will be okay. Right? O, 12 na sa siya. Okay. Now, what will happen to your carbon? 6 na talaga siya, no? Then, hydrogen, okay. Oxygen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 6, perfect. Right. Now, if you add the two, look for an outlet that it will be combined. Okay, look for the polarity. Okay, the theory of Lewis dot structure, or the Lewis theory of acidity and basicity, things like that. So you need to consider the valence electrons now. Okay, for here, H2OH, it's like more complicated. So it is not the one who will react, obviously. And here, it's either, that is from fructose. And here, it's very obvious, it could be either H and OH will react. Okay, now, if you try to react the H and OH, it is possible or not? Okay, it is possible or not? Or it's in here, OH and OH. Take a look, who will react? Okay, you got the point? Because this is very clear that after reacting this one, this will produce water in the product. Okay, so H2O, ganon. Diba? Like that. So, and then your new product will be the combination of these two here. Let's say I put rectangle. So, plus H2O here. So, water will be removed here upon adding these two. Things like that. You got the point? So, what is more appropriate? The H or OH? Which will easily more react? Okay, to look for the commonalities, okay, of the two. The common here are OH and OH. So obviously this will form water in the product. So this is gonna be the OH here. Okay, will react the two OH here. Okay, and another reason for the commonality is this OH of fructose will react to H. Miilog siya gamay, musaka siya gamay, because the OH is in the downside. You know the point? So it will elevate a little bit, and then, you know, it requires density and weight to move up a little bit just to compensate the rising to reach the H in the top, also in the carbon number 4 of glucose. So we need to say, it is not really convenient for OH to react to H, even though this H is positive and this OH is negative. Okay, because, because of the issue of density, molecular weight, and, it requires force to get the fructose up and then try to catch the hydrogen in the outlet carbon number 4 because they are at the same level. Okay? So things like this are very, very important in organic compounds. The leveling of the reaction, it's easy for them to react immediately. So OH is the common and it's very easy to react for them. They are on the same plane. Okay, no need for the glucose to elevate a little bit, and no need also to elevate a little bit of the positioning of the fructose. So that's why it's in OH outlets, not the H. You got the point? It's two main reasons. Now your product will be now like this. Okay, so it's gonna be like tadadat, tadadat, but you have to connect na talaga siya. Okay, tadadat, tadadat, and then it will become like this, ha? Oxygen, oxygen, like this, tadadat, 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 okay, tadadat, 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 and then put all the same, the elemental attachments of each substance. So we have here, okay, na may H na so CH2OH, mga palangga kong hitad, then H here, then H, OH, okay, OH, H, like that, oxygen here, and then we have CH2OH, o diba? Ganon. Okay, CH2OH na gano'n mga mukha na. Okay, para mabuhat yung mo ang carbon pa. Okay, and then here we have here, tararat, okay, anadri, dapat na siya H diri ari, and then we have CH2OH, H, then we have here carbon, okay, like this, carbon, okay, OH, H, then H, OH, okay, and then OH, H, and then O here, okay, like that, okay? So muna na itong formula sa sucrose. Kani siya. It looks like very complicated, right? Attaching the two. Okay, na-eliminate ang imong H, na-eliminate ang imong OH and OH here. Mahabilin na ang oxygen, common man sa duha. Then it will produce water in the product. So, plus water. Like that. Okay, hydration, because carbohydrates will yield hydrate upon hydration. That's why carbohydrate, because the process of hydration will be illustrated when you try to decompose or to catalyze the reaction of this disaccharide sugar, sucrose, lactose, and maltose. Okay, so this is the formula of our sucrose, this one. It looks like very complicated, right? Now, so if you add C6H12O6 fructose plus C6H12O6 glucose in math, it will become carbon 12, H24, and O12. Now, why the chemical formula of sucrose sugar, white sugar, is C12, H22, O11? Where are the two atoms of hydrogen and one atoms of oxygen? So it will be compensated in the reaction here. Somebody will lose the two atoms of hydrogen because of the connection of this one, linkage here. And this is what we called linkage here and linkage here, glycosidic linkage. Okay, glycosidic linkage. Okay. Why glyco? Because both fructose and sucrose belong to glycogen family. Okay, like that. So glycogen. Okay, glycogen, okay, the storehouse of all the glucoses in our body, including also some fructoses, but the majority there are the glucoses. That's why glyco. That's why glycosidic linkage, on the terminology itself. You got the point? Ganon. So, i-count din nato ang carbon for let's prove it. Why our hydrogen will become 22 and oxygen will become 11. So, it doesn't follow by math. Okay, because the atoms are lost in hydrogen and the one atom also of oxygen is lost. Kaya mo siyang 11 na lang siya. Now, let's count this one by one in our final formula of sucrose, the Haworth projection of sucrose. So, count the carbon. Okay, right? Carbon 12 ha. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, ganon. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Diba? So carbon 12 is perfect. Now, hydrogen 22. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Perfect! Hydrogen 22 instead of 24. Okay. Oxygen, instead of 12, 11 na lang siya after the chemical reaction. Okay. We have oxygen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Perfect. So our formula of sucrose or white sugar we have in our kitchen and we put in our coffee is 12 atoms of carbon, 22 atoms of hydrogen, 11 atoms of oxygen, and this is the general chemical formula of white sugar or processed sugar or refined sugar or the sugar cane. This one. This found in your body. And it looks like it's very complicated. You can never see that. You can only see this through microscopic technology. Microscopic technology through the process of that as a light absorbance, like a spectrophotometer, and just like a quantitative test laboratory in which you can see the appearance of your sucrose in the monitor of the screen of the computer. It looks like this. Okay? This is only lecture. I am not in the laboratory to show to you what really the behavior, what really the appearance. It looks like this. If you try to get a sample of sugar and then put that in a test like that, and it will appear in your screen, monitor screen of your computer technology or microscopic technology, things like that. Okay? So, anak siya sa sucrose. Now, we go to lactose. Okay, if the question is, but usually it will never be asked because it's very easy to answer. For example, in the board examination, they will never ask question if the answer is very easy to detect. Like this, we will ask supposedly, what is an enzyme to be added in order for the sucrose to produce fructose and glucose? Then your choices, A, lactase, B, sucrose. It's obviously sucrose is the answer. So this is not a catchy question. That's why they will never also produce this kind of question in the board examination. They will try to have the catchy and a little bit confusing questions so that the students or examiners will think deeper. Okay, based on the theories and concepts and our formulas that the students are studying. Okay, things like that. It's not direct things like this. Maybe the question will say only, how many numbers of oxygen atoms in sucrose? A little bit complicated pa siya siguro compared to saying what is the enzyme added sucrose to become fructose and glucose. It's 11 atoms of oxygen. The answer. Okay, if you know the formula of the sugar, white sugar, then perfect. You can answer directly by having the complete memorization. Okay, the point. So I memorized this when I was in elementary. This formula of sugar. I think grade 5. Or when I reached college, I'll never forget the formula of sugar until now. Okay, so that's the power of the stock knowledge. Because for me, in passing the examination is not more on the last stage. It should be accumulated. Meaning to say, how good your performance academically starting from the first level, second level, third level. So that is through basic concepts that made you to pass. It's not really how intelligent you are. Okay? You get the point. And the effort. The basic concepts, principles, theories. Because the formulas, problem solving will just follow if you have the concept principles like that. It's easy to derive a formula if you know the concept and the principles. Really. Okay? But if you are plainly memorizing the complicated problem solvings, and you only detect how it is being solved, that is not the correct way. Okay? Because the problems will be modified a million times. Okay, so it is not really how it is being solved, it is really the theory and the concept of how it is being solved. You get the point? May iba naman ang i-pattern pattern, sequence ni mo na siya pare-pareha ato. No, it's not like that. Okay? Mayabog litaan nga guys ha, kung ato rin i-pattern pattern sa mga atong pareha atong question, pareha atong dili siya. Because there are problems that you create your own formula sometimes if it is necessary like that, and you can derive in the spot Okay, especially in problems that you can answer very well, things like that. Okay, most of the times it will come out in the chemical engineering. Okay, the day 3 of the board examination, in which you can never understand what's this all about whenever you encounter this kind of problems. Okay, now if you have the basic concepts, principles, then theories, then it's easy for you to, to correlate other formulas, length F, then derive another formulas suitable to that kind of problem. Okay, things like that. Do not pattern all the time, ha? Do not sequence all the time because that is not math. Numbers. Numbers can be like that. Sequencing, progression, like that, mechanism, how it is being so. But in, in higher problem solving, it's not like that. Okay? Mo bitaw mi na sila sa utwag-tuwan, masolve na siya if you really understand what is the concept all about. Okay? Ganda mo na siyang pasagot-an sa utwag-tuwan, makuha na siya po nimo. If you really understand how it is, what is the theory all about, you understand really, like that, blah, 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 so on, so. Okay? And then, plain memorization will not work here. Okay? Plain memorization. That you will memorize the words, the paragraph, no, the period, everything, the same. Okay? So it's not the way how you will study. Okay? So you will modify it and using your own statements and understandings that it could be easy for you to understand, because it could not be denied also that books are using deep terminology in which you cannot understand, and you can understand only for the very, very first time. If you are referring that to Webster Dictionary, you Google it sometimes, like that, okay, if you cannot understand. Okay? So, but in science, guys, I will tell you honestly, if you see a terminology, that the first look at it, it is in the term itself. Okay, for example, condensation, the ability to condense. Okay, you can add a statement based on your own how it is being phrased. Even though you did not study, but you will understand that there is condensed there. So it is a process that will produce a condensate. Things like that, you get the point. Or the reverse of evaporation that will produce liquid. Because once it will become condensed, it will produce liquid. Things like that, okay? You get the point? Oh, ganon. Okay, mga palangga akong bitad. Okay. So, ganon. So, katong mga conversion, immerse ito yung makanan. Okay, for example, mga conversion, mga sanab kayo good. 5,280 feet is equals to 1 mile. Like that, okay? And then, mga ganun, okay? 10, ganon, okay? So, 3 feet is equals to 1 yard. Mga ganun, okay? So, muna yung mga timan ang mga kapatid ko hintado, okay? So, 1, this is more common in engineering, guys, no? Diba? So, 1 gallon is equals to 3.785 liters. So, this is US gallon, something like that. Okay, but this is what I memorized in high school. 1 gallon is equals to 3.785 liters. Okay, then the rest will be followed. GPM, liter per hour, cubic per meter. 1,000, okay, 1,000 cc, cubic centimeter, like that, okay. Ano siya, so, mura mga gyapon na sa imong milliliter. Okay, so, 1 milliliter is equals to 1 cubic meter, 1 centimeter, ganun. So, 1,000 cubic centimeter is equals to 1 liter. Okay, mura man ang ml ang cubic centimeter. So, 1 cubic centimeter is equals to 1 ml. Okay, so meaning to say, 1 cubic centimeter is equals also to 1,000 ml. Okay, ganon. Right? Mura na mo timanan. 1 cubic centimeter equals to 1 ml. So therefore, 1,000 cubic centimeter is also equal to 1,000 milliliter, in which equal to 1 liter. Okay, ganun. O, diba? So makuha din ang mga flow rate. Okay, that's the point. Yan. Pangalan ng density o pasak-pasak ba nga. Okay, you got the point? So, anak siya mga palangga kung hindi. But that is not our topic today. Our topic is biochemistry, right? We don't have numbers here. Okay, now let's go to lactose. Lactase enzyme will be added to produce glucose and the lactose. Really? Yes. Okay. So, Klaro kayo ang imong glucose and galactose substrate ni siya ha. Product. Okay, din ang substrate nato ang lactose. Okay? To the point, kay enzyme man siya. So lactase enzyme. Okay? So ang lactose, kasi ito glucose plus galactose. Ang din mo ay glucose. Balik ko rin mo ang glucose. Mamaster din mo ang glucose ron. Char! Charot lang. O diba? Okay. So ang glucose. Pwede rin, guys, ang technique guys, no? If you put OH, ay nabot na yung H, kaya para sa H naman, para masave mong time. O diba? Okay, anak yan. OH. O, pwede na ko lang H. Understood na mga H na siya. Okay, so OH. Some books are like this. Okay? They don't emphasize the hydrogen because it's automatic that the pair of hydroxide is an hydrogen. Like that, by organic chemistry. Okay, things like that. So we have also OH here, like that. But the purpose of vlogging, I'll put H, okay? Because not all my viewers are science professionals and also not all also loves science, right? So we're not good also in science, the others, okay? Get the point. So things like that. So we need to emphasize. Okay? So here will be the OH and the CH2OH here, and we have the CH2OH here, and one hydrogen here, and oxygen here, like that. At ulit mo hydrogen para may lubog. Okay? Diba? Here, ganun. Then plus galactose. Ano ang galactose? Okay, galactose. Ang galactose, kontrabida sa kay siya. Okay, mubali-bali po siya para sa fructose. Nawaha. Okay, pero ang our OH will be in carbon number 3 and carbon number 4 dari ari ay 1, 2, 3. So, dari OH soon. H. Yeah, sa 4 carbon 4 sa OH na sa taas. O, ganun, anak siya. Charot. Diba? Muna siya galactose. So, 3 and 4. Ganon. Diba? So, i-count mo ang carbon later na. Let's say H2OH then dari ari, then H dayon, then oxygen dari ari dayon. Okay, ang kanin dari ari, o mubali dayon siya. Okay? Okay, kung ano siya galactose, H ang taas, H ang ubos, OH sa sud. Ano na siya. Okay? You get the point. Yan, hindi mo na din yung alala ko na siya yung CH2OH. Okay? Ganon. And very ari mong kuan, HOH. So, imo siya timanan guys, so, di ka masayog. Ako masayog po ko siya na taon. Even now, masayog po ko guys, nga no, ganami ko butang mo sa H2H pero ni. Okay? But don't based on your feelings how to put, based on the principles lang dyan talaga ha. Okay, feeling lang mo siya marong biya ka. Okay, you get the point, anak-anak. You get the point, so ka. Ifunday ni mo, uy, charot. Ang carbon, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dari ari. Ang carbon mo tungtong na sa oxygen ha. Wala nang gipakita pero tungtong na siya. Okay, dari ari. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 o ganon. From a perfect tube mo ba? Okay, hydrogen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. O, hydrogen 12. Then sa galactose ko, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Pareho siya. Oxygen kaya di mana dyan niha. 1, 2, unom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, perfect. Sa glucose, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, perfect kaya kung siya. So both are C6H12O6, meaning isomers with each other. Okay. Ganon. Now, tanawa na ko din yung mga palangga kong hitad. Ang OH nasa pikas, no? Nasa taas. And OH also, okay, sa carbon number 1 sa galactose. Okay, galactose na kung iuna. No, glucose. Ang galactose sa carbon number 1, 2, 3, 4. Carbon number 4. Okay. Ang carbon number 4, they will meet with each other. But take note, ang H sa ubos. So, EKS. Because if you try to combine H, it will produce hydrogen gas. It's not possible. Okay, it's not hydration when you produce hydrogen gas in the product. Now, if you put OH and H, it is water. So though though the glucose will move a little bit up, okay, to compensate the OH which is in the top, in the carbon number 4 of the galactose. But there's no choice because you know, hydrogen and hydrogen will form H2. Hydrogen gas, the atomic gas, and it will release to the atmosphere, which is very, very impossible. Okay, since carbohydrates, meaning hydrate is the product of hydration. So there's water. So you'll produce automatically the water here at the product. Meaning to say you will combine the OH of carbon number 1 of glucose and the OH in the carbon number 4 of galactose. So what is your appearance now of your lactose? So your lactose will become like this. Okay. Ganon. Okay. So, since na-ari also, ana na yun guys. Nakaluka. Okay. Ana. Diagonal da yun. Okay. Okay, naman din ang OH o diagonal. So, in common diagonal, oxygen is the center. Like that. O tibang saya-saya special. Okay, like that. And then, ang pares niya, di ba? H, ari diri ang H. Ang pares niya H gapon, so ari. So, put all the attachment and bingo. This is now the structural Howard projection of lactose. Like that. So, perfect na yun. Muna din imong lactose. Okay, so sa imong lawas. O, ganon. So, lactose. So, glucose plus galactose. Meaning to say, this is really the sugar from the milk or cow's milk. It could be also the breast milk because of the galactose here. Okay, because there are two components. Okay, this is also again from the dairy products, cheese, mayonnaise, things like that. And this could also found also sometimes in glycolipid, meaning to say the sugar that can be found in the cholesterol, something like, or the triglycerides, because this have sugar itself also the conversion later on, because glycolipid, meaning fats plus glycogen. Okay, and also this is also sometimes can be found in the glycoprotein because of the presence of galactose. So, glycoprotein, meaning to say protein plus glycogen. Okay, you get the point, anak siya. Okay, so muna ng lactose. So this is now the complete Haworth structural formula. Pwede na ko din yung Haworth, guys. This is now the complete structural formula of your lactose. The sugar found in milk. Like that. Okay, CH2OH H H H. Di man yung guys kayo mag-exam yung taan kang taon-taon ha. Okay, mga palaga akong hitan. H, like this, H, OH, H, like that. And then, also here, CH2OH, then H, kaloka. OH, H, gano'n H, ang OH, OH, kaloka. H, OH, H, O. Ganon. Okay. Muna nila atong, this is our lactose now. Okay, take note. If if the formula of your lactose will be the same with your sucrose, which is carbon 12 H22O11. Count now on the spot. Okay, carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Ganon. So, carbon 12 na dayon. Okay? Correct. Okay. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. Pasok sa banga. Okay. Ganon. Upilit rin siya rin guys sa pilit. Okay. Ay mo kalibo mo. Pilit rin siya rin sa H2OH. Okay. Kaya nga mo pilit naman, kaya mo lang ka na talinis mo, ihap na pagka carbon, pilit na siya. Tungtong ka ba? Pero sa ako tungtong. Char. Okay? Our hydrogen will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, repeat. There's something wrong. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay? 12. 12 mo, klaro kayo. 12. Okay? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22. Perfect. Oxygen 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oxygen 11. So, lactose and sucrose have the same general chemical formula. So, lactose sugar and sucrose sugar are isomers with each other. Meaning to say the same general chemical formula but different structural formula, but may differ also in their uses and application, or may have also common uses and application as well. Gonna be the lactose. And now we go to the maltose. Okay. Maltose is a sugar originated from fermentation industry. Okay. Fermentation industry meaning the wine industry. Like that. Okay, in producing beer, whiskey, spirits, gin, like that. Okay, all about the wine due to fermentation process. Okay, so maltose is the sugar for there, or you can say immediately that this is gonna be the sugar coming from the malt or the malt, M-E-L-T, the plant. Okay, M-E-L-T. So it will become maltose. Okay, like that. The point, ganon. So during beverage fermentation industry, a lot of glucoses will be produced. Okay, so the more glucoses will be produced, the more alcohols will be produced. Because there's a lot of OH already. OH, hydroxyl, and OH is the basic component of an alcohol. You get the point? Like that. Okay. So, glucose plus glucose. Okay. So, duha dyan siya ka glucose. So, meaning to say, if you drink alcoholic beverage, dako ka siya chance for obesity, overweight, and diabetes. Again, if you are palainom o mga alcoholic, mga beer, wine, whiskey, there's a greater chance of obesity, overweight, and diabetes because you added too much glucose. Glucose plus glucose, like this, right? And in the lactose also you add the glucose also. So if you try to compare naturally, sucrose, lactose, and maltose, maltose is very bad. Okay? But if you try to compare through processing, sucrose also will become bad. Sucrose, the white sugar. But if you talk about naturally, so maltose is bad. Okay, got the point? Things like that. Okay? So tanawa ra gud na di ba since you okay, ganun, di ba? Sucrose, fructose plus glucose, mamali siya ang mga rice. Okay, because you know, mga kabush, white bread, coming from the plants. So plants and fruits have fructose already. Okay, so have glucose also built in. Okay, free maltose. Gusto sige ka mo yung gatas, ang buro siya yung pinagpagkalo. At least you will eliminate the maltose. Yes, at least lang. Para gusto ka mo kaon o kanon. Kaya pwede rin ka sa lactose, wala may maltose. Okay, ganon. Kaya imagine na, bakit kaya glucose ba? Glucose o glucose. 1, 2, ikaw pa kung ka mo ada glucose sa adlaw-adlaw. Kung palainom ka. So, imo dyan i-terminate ang number 3. Ikaw na yung siya occasional. Let's say, 1 time in a week, or let's say, 2 times in a month, or a spare occasion. Pwede na dyan siya. Okay, sa kaning maltose, kaning mga alcohols ba? Okay? Okay. Kung imong ikuan mo na, sucrose lang sa glucose mo dali, nakakayaw ka. What you can choose, mag-exercise lang dyan ka. Kaya kung labi na, ganang di ka mo kaon, ganang di ka mo inom, ganang ka, labi na ang milk, hindi ka pugnan, gatas. Okay. Wala ka mo po ng gatas, kay healthy man po na. Okay. So, ano yung bilis ang katulo ang bro itangtang na to? No, hindi mo sila matangtang ng sucrose kay kasi ganap yung mga yung bugas. Okay? So, kanina dito siya pinaka-close na matangtang ang maltose sa mga alcohols. Okay, na yung pa mga nag-diet, mataktak ang sucrose o maltose, ang mababili na lang ang lactose, kaya nabukuhan sila mga milk, mga gano'n. Okay? Just like me, I also eat mayonnaise as a sandwich of my brown bread. So, since mayonnaise have also the lactose. And then milk also, I have the low-fat milk. Okay? So, muna lactose akong gina-feed sa akong diet. So, in order I can get the energy and strength, I focus on lactose. Okay? And not only for lactose I focus, I also built in with fructose. Okay? Coming from the sucrose. Pero na-eliminate na ko ang glucose from sucrose because ang fructose na akong i-carry over because I eat also fruits all the time. Okay? Here. So, determinate na ko ang usa ka glucose sa sucrose, determinate na ko ang duha ka glucose sa maltose. Kaya di mo ko miinom. Okay, na plus nag-exercise pa jud ko. Muna din bubulot akong tiyan. Okay? Muna siya. To the point. So, kung di dyan nga mapugalan tulo, pag-exercise na mo. Okay, get the point. Di man kay importante ka na mo, nindot ka tan-aw. Importante na sa panglawas lang ba for good health, for proper blood flow circulation. Mo gyud ang main target ha. It doesn't mean na mawaan tiyan or naa. As long as healthy lang ang imong kuan, immune system. Okay? Muna na siya. Mo to ang lactose, yes, formula to siya sa lactose. Pero ari lang kita sa maltose. We go to the maltose formula. Laoy. Duha na siya ka glucose. Anaon din ang imo ay. So, mamaster din mo guys, especially mag-masters kag chemistry, polymer major or let's say petroleum major. Masters in chemistry major in petroleum or masters in chemistry major in polymer. Okay, so mag-study mo na yung ani. Charot. Okay? You get the point. Then, samot na ko mag PhD ka. Now you will now become a doctor in chemistry or doctor in chemical engineering, things like that, okay? Diba? Kasi sa Dr. Jude, nakakaloka. Okay, it's gonna be like that. So I hope I can make it in the future. Okay, like that. So we have one carbon here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the glucose here. We have here the glucose. Atong i-practice yung pag-ayo. So, nadali ang OH, H, then OH, H. Guys, you know, you have to be patient only, ha? The technique is you have to be patient. Okay? In passing anything, you have to be patient. Okay? There's no quick results. Okay? Always a gradual process. You will go through process so that you will understand very well. Okay? There's no magic and, you know, abrupt result. Okay? Or immediate result. Or prompt result. So we have here, oxygen here, like that. Mutong-tong na yun siya. Naman din mo oxygen, mutong-tong dito. Okay, para daon na yun pasok sa banga. Okay? Kaya mali pa yung tatay, kaya malinti man siya. Diba? Ganon! Okay? So, ana na yun. CH2, H dari R, na namin kay H dari ay ng Paris. Okay. Now, we have here OH, H. Ang glucose kaya, pwede na yung ano. Dili na kayo. Okay? You get the point? So, ana na yun. OH. Okay, OH. Like this CH2OH, okay, like this HOH, H, like this, okay, OH, like this H, okay, OH, H, H, like that, okay. Ngunit akong grade sa organic chemistry is 4.6, meaning to say 96%. Okay, 4.6 because the CIT we have reverse. 5 is our 100%. and then it will go down because we believe that 5 is higher than 1. That's why our grading system numbers always higher. Okay, the numbering sequence is always higher, meaning 5 is higher than 1. Okay, in math. That's why university and I think La Salle University have only this kind of grading system. Okay, there's only 2 schools in the Philippines that the highest grade is 5. It's gonna be CIT University and La Salle University because we believe 5 is always higher than 1 in number. It's not 1. Okay, because we are not telling here ranking or placement in which top 1 is higher. We are referring only to the number. Okay? Because we are not really what nag-ranking ba nga we will put 1 as our number 1. We are using this as a grading system lang naman. Okay? So, meaning to say, dako ang 5 kaysa 1. Get the point? Anak siya. Pwede na siya sa interpretation because one interpretation sa among school that 1 can never be higher than 5. Agree or not? Again, number 1 can never be higher than number 5 because 5 is higher in effect and in value. But in ranking, that's another story. We are now putting criterion or classification or method. But we don't put criterion, method, okay, and ranking. So, under normal circumstance, 5 is higher than 1. Now, if you try to compute for the Dean's Lister, President's Lister, or honor student, cum laude, magna cum laude, that's the time that 1 is higher than 5. But that would not mean that that is a number. That is placement or ranking. Top 1, top 2. Okay, you will add what top term before 2. Right? Top 1, top 2. Right? But if you will say 1 and 2, there's no reason. What's that 1 and 2 all about? But if you put the word top, that could signify that is ranking, honor student, then lister. But if you don't put top, you want to 1, 2, that is not referring to something else. That is not specific. So that means 5 is higher than 1. So meaning to say, the grading system supposedly should be, the higher the number is the highest. The lowest the number is the lower. For example, 98% is higher than 97%. Okay? Like that. And then why this is also number. Or percent. Then why the number 1 is higher than the number 5 in grading system? Actually, 5 is higher than 1. It doesn't match with the percentage. These are also number. So, 98% is higher than 94%. Then supposedly 5 is higher than 1 also. Okay, by analogy. So muna, CIT University and La Salle University, our grading system, the highest is 5, not 1. Okay? Any questions so far? Ako dyan siyang i-explain. Okay, kay mo na may mangutan na anong 5 ang among highest. As simply as that, 1 can never be higher than 5. Okay, ano? Period. Okay, now going back to this adding, okay, the glucose plus glucose. Now, it's very obvious that there's OH in the corner of the carbon number 1 and carbon number 5. Automatically, this will become H2O in the product. So, H2O. Because hydration, it produces water. So, carbohydrates. Okay, hydrates is the product of hydration or water. Okay, now, like this. Okay. Now, ikasumpot ni mo, kasi may tabo. Anak na yun. Char. Atong ipon ha. Mga talaga akong hitad. Ganon. So, our structural formula of maltose will be like this. Okay. Okay, ganon. So, ano na yun? Ang oxygen. Ganon. Okay. Now, we will put the same attachment. Okay. Muna na siya atong forma. Skeletal form is like this. And put also the HOH. Kasi kay tintawi. Okay. Muna na siya. Ipang-butang-butang ragunin mo. Okay. You get the point? So, sa buta ko lang siya kaya nasa. Muna siya ang atong maltose. Okay. Yung ato ng ipon. Kung carbon 12 is 22 o 11 ba siya kanitanan. Okay. Na. Ato na ipon diri ari. O, ganan. So, H ganon. So, magsugod ka diri ari ha. Ihap na to. Ayaw nyo ipa diri ang weight siya. I-water na ba yung mo. You get the point? Ano rin, carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. Carbon 12. Okay. Hydrogen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, ay naninipa na water naman na siya. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay. Fine. Diba? Muna na siya. 22 ang hydrogen. Ang oxygen, 11 ba? Okay, sige, go. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 4, 5. Di ba? 6. Okay. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Perfect. So, C12 is equal to 11. So, maltose, lactose, and sucrose have the same chemical formula. Okay, 12 atoms of carbon, 22 atoms of hydrogen, and 11 atoms of oxygen. So, sucrose, lactose, and maltose are isomers with each other, meaning the same chemical formula but different in their structural formula or orientation, but may differ in their application and uses, or may have a little bit of similarities. Similarities meaning as a sugar. Okay, but the specific application may vary. Things like that. So these are isomers. And if we do these three processes all the time, this is now we call isomerism. Okay? Isomerism. Because we are producing isomers of sucrose, lactose, and maltose in our process 1, process 2, process 3. That's why it's called an isomerism process. Okay? We drop now the hydration. Okay, because we are not doing already individually. We sum now. But this isomerism involves 3 hydration processes. Okay. But the total process is called isomerism. But the point, ano siya? So the same as if we produce a polymer, that is also polymerization. And also we introduce enzymes there also. You get the point? Things like that. So ano siya? So these are disaccharides, sucrose, disaccharide, lactose, disaccharide, maltose. Why di? Because you added 2. Fructose, glucose, 2. Lactose, glucose, galactose, 2. Glucose, glucose, 2. So di, meaning disaccharides. Okay, so meaning to say your common term is saccharide. So meaning to say, you will say, your carbohydrates is a saccharides family. Okay? You get the point? Ana kami siya dahil so. Blanc is a saccharides family. Your answer will be carbohydrates. Okay? Ganun. Pwede sabihin ka, mukhaon sa kong saccharides, uy. Pwede sa kami yung anak, mukhaon ba rin ka kanon. Saccharides ba na mga kanon? Okay, mga bugas, mga pan. Okay? Yung katawan na yung kakay. Usay saccharides, uy, wala kasabot ang uban. Okay, marami sa kagbuang kung magamit o saccharides, di ba? Kaya hindi, pumunsa ka na. You get the point? Ganon. Okay, any questions so far for this discussion of disaccharides sugar? Okay, like that. So again, before I end this topic, so based on World Health Organization and controls and prevention of diseases, okay, the CDC, and also the Food Drug Administration, they correlate their results all over the world based on different hospitals all over the world, meaning all countries globally, that sugar is the deadliest substance in the planet Earth. Sugar is the deadliest or fatal okay, substance in the earth, because most of their findings are a lot of heart attack, high blood pressure, diabetes through sugar intake. Okay, it's not the fat. Okay, like that. Based on their study and based also in the documentary, in their documentaries. You get the point. So, ano siya. So, reduce the intake of sugary substances or sweetened foods. Okay. If you want to age to reach 70 years old. Except for accidents, ha? You know, natural accidents na mabanggaan sa truck. Malilabo. So, okay. You get the point? Okay, mana siya. Okay, you get the point? Ganon. So, any questions so far, you can share this video to anybody else also. And you can click the notification bell for some newest updates of Science, Health, Safety, and Music channel. Okay, like that. Okay, and if you are not subscribing yet my channel, then you can subscribe now if you want also, and I will be happy for that. See you later. Bye-bye. God bless everybody. Kaloka, di ba? Chili. Hoy! Shwada. Ala, nakakaloka. Naluluka na si Junjun, in fairness. Uy, anaon na di ay, guys.